How's it going, guys? Winter Kills here, and welcome to a brand new test hand video for Photon Galaxy. As you saw in that intro there, yes, Imperium Duelists deck boxes are now live. I had the opportunity to take it to a locals the other week. It performed absolutely fantastic. I mean, it is a deck box at the end of the day. Nothing too incredibly special, but the dice tray is very nice, and there's plenty of space in the top compartment to fit both main, extra, and side, alongside plenty of tokens, and it does snap shut pretty well and stays together pretty well. So if you guys want to pick one up, link to that website down in the description below. Highly recommend you guys check it out. So, and with only $20 for a deck box too, and of that quality, I think that's a fair deal. But this video is special because not only are we going to be doing Photon Galaxy test hands, but we're going to be doing Photon Galaxy test hands with new support, featuring cards like Galaxy Eyes Afterglow Dragon here, Proxy I printed off, and the new Link Union Carrier, which is the sole reason why I believe Photon Orbital has skyrocketed to like $50 a copy, which is really unfortunate. I remember all the people complaining about it being $18 a copy, and they should have just bought it then, but now it's just even further out of reach, which is still pretty unfortunate. But this card is just really, really good. Do you need it to play the deck? No. Does the deck become less consistent without it? Obviously. But yeah, so what's going to be different about this is we're going to be playing with that new support, the Afterglow Dragon, which I'm playing at 2 copies, and we're also going to be playing under the new Master Rule 5 rule set, yeah, going to be a lot of fun. I'll try to show you guys how good the Afterglow Dragon is, and just how much better and more fun this deck is to play under Master Rule 5. I've been playing this deck a lot on my stream lately, doing a lot of testing there. If you guys have seen the latest top replays and highlights video, you've seen some of the replays I showed off there. I highly recommend you guys checking them out. That video will showcase more of the going second capabilities this deck has with Afterglow Dragon and cards like Tachyon and number 62 Prime Photon Dragon. So yeah, let's go ahead and do our first test hand here. All going to be going first, of course. So we're starting off with a pretty okay hand. Galaxy Knight, Orbital, the Expedition Trade-in, and the Transmigration. A pretty decent hand to start, but this Trade-in definitely has to kind of put in some work here. Let's go ahead and use that. We draw into a Brave and a copy of Galaxy Eyes Afterglow Dragon, so that's pretty good. One of the main reasons I like Brave is because it helps easily make cards like Orbital and Vanisher live while being able to give you access to a rank 4, such as your Photon Blast Dragon, which gets more extenders and things like that. So we'll reveal the Orbital and reveal the Brave, etc., etc. Then we'll equip the Orbital. We'll send the Orbital off here to be able to get a Galaxy or Photon monster. We're going to go with the Galaxy Eyes. That's going to special summon itself by discarding the Afterglow Dragon. And then we'll search a Galaxy monster. So, yeah, we could add Knight here just to be able to follow up afterwards. But we need Galaxy Eyes. That's like the biggest thing that we need right now, is we need a Galaxy Eyes in our possession. In some way, shape, or form, because we can either get this card into our hand. Actually, instead of adding this, I'm going to add Afterglow Dragon, actually. I know we just discarded one, but I'd rather add one here, just so we don't have to use our Soul Flare add back on the Afterglow. I think that will be actually pretty nice. So we'll add the Afterglow Dragon, and by the way, for those of you that don't know what this card does, basically, if you control a Galaxy Eyes monster, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. If this card is detached from an Xyz monster to activate that monster's effect, you can take one Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from your hand or deck and either special summon it or attach it to an Xyz monster you control as material. Then as this effect was activated during the battle phase, you can double the attack of all number Xyz monsters you control. You can only use each effect of Galaxy Eyes Afterglow Dragon once per turn. So this card helps for extending and helping going for games. So very, very strong card. So now what we're going to do here is use Expedition. We're going to use Expedition to get out that Galaxy Eyes, just so we can get it into Grave to be able to link off with. We're not going to be able to make Infinity with this board, at least I don't think. So as it stands, we could summon the Afterglow Dragon right now while we control a Galaxy Eyes monster, but we're not going to do that just yet. We're going to link into Soul Flare, and then we're going to use Soul Flare to add back the Knight. We'll normal summon the Knight to bring out the Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. And then from here, we'll special summon the Afterglow Dragon, and then this is where it gets good. We'll overlay here, not in the zone that he points to, just out of spite of not being able to have to do that. Then we'll make Felgran. The reason why I like Felgran is because it allows us to use this effect turn 1 to be able to trigger the effect of Afterglow. So we're going to use this effect, just target this soldier, even himself, make his effects negated, but make it also unaffected by card effects. And then we'll use Afterglow Dragon's effect here to be able to summon out the other copy of Galaxy Eyes from our deck or hand. Now, it doesn't stop there, because here we're going to be able to overlay again into the number 90, a second rank 8. Making 2 rank 8s in a single turn beforehand was actually really hard to do. You had to like open trance and like the right setup. But yeah, it gets a lot easier, as you can see. And we still have that transmigration, which we can set. So now we have the additional interruption from Felgran, and of course still the number 90 and Soul Flare, and we can use number 90 during their turn to go ahead and grab that last copy of Galaxy Eyes, I believe. Be able to get an interruption here, 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 and of course another interruption with the Tachyon Transmigration. So a pretty solid board. The new Master Rule 5, really that whole mechanic there doesn't really come in too big of a play there, but more so Afterglow Dragon really showing us why this card is so good. I'm currently playing 2 right now. Maybe I might consider bumping it up to 3 just because it is such a good extender. I might even start to play Cleric in here again, because you can only use Afterglow if you have these in your deck or in your hand. So if they're all in your graveyard, this card becomes dead, at least its other effect when detached, which is arguably its best effect, to be able to summon out another Galaxy Eyes. So I might play Cleric to help recycle, but it would be a 1 of at most, obviously. So that's it for that test hand. We'll go ahead and shuffle up and do another one. Did a quick pile shuffle here. Let's cut the deck a few times and draw into another test hand. Opening up, we have a copy of Orbital, Desires, Vanisher, Expedition, and Sanctuary. So it was looking pretty grim there until we got to that Sanctuary. I don't always like relying on the Desires, but this card, of course, has come in handy time and time again. Yeah, so now I think the obvious play here is to start with the Sanctuary. And this, of course, will summon out 2 tokens. I'll just go ahead and use these YCS dice here as tokens. And then at this point, we'll go ahead and special summon the Vanisher. And Vanisher will go ahead and search us that Galaxy Eyes. And then we're going to use Orbital here. Orbital will get us our Galaxy Soldier. So we use that, equip it, send it for Galaxy Soldier. This, a lot of times, is a play that I really like to go for. If you have the combination of Vanisher, Orbital, usually using them in the sequence, if you don't already have these 2 cards, is to get these 2 cards in combination. Because they help set up a lot, especially with Expedition. Like right here in Master Rule 5, we're talking number 90 Infinity, just these 3 cards here. But anyways, continuing on here, we'll use the Soldier here to go grab a copy of Knight, and I'm kind of holding off on the Desires right now because we didn't need it to make our hand better, but we can definitely use it to try and draw into more extenders right now. Cards like Afterglow Dragon. So we're using that to search the Knight, and then we'll go ahead and use, we could use Desires here, or we could Expedition for a second. Let's Expedition actually for a second Soldier here, just so we don't have to risk it being banished. So we'll go ahead and do that. And at this point, if we didn't already resolve Orbital, we could use Union Hanger just to go get Orbital. But we don't need to do that since we've already resolved his effect. Now we'll use Desires here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we banished first. And not too bad, actually. 2 Sanctuary, 2 Orbital, a Knight, a Brave, Afterglow Dragon, another copy of Desires. So that's perfect. Let's see what we drew into, though. Another Expedition, and the last card is a Galaxy Eyes. So that's actually not too bad. We'll take the Galaxy Eyes for sure. Now at this point, we'll go ahead and link these 2 off into the Soul Flare. We'll go ahead and add back that Orbital just to use for the next turn. At this point, we'll go ahead and normal summon this to bring this back. Probably should also make Infinity first. That way we can protect the Galaxy Knight from something like Effect Valor. So we'll go ahead and the Infinity or protect it from impermanence. Then follow up with the Knight and just overlay into this. And then we can use Infinity to absorb that Vanisher. So it has more attack, more materials to negate with. And yeah, we end with the Orbital. And during their turn, we also get a search of a card. So we can use next turn use that effect of number 90 to go ahead and grab Afterglow to basically follow up with a direct OTK. Because this deck has like had some issues and like not being as consistent to OTK, but next turn, if we are able to shut their turn down, by negating, destroying, etc., etc. Next turn, we draw a card. Hypothetically, we draw a Knight, which is just absolutely busted. But just for example, we could use something like Afterglow Dragon here to be able to special summon itself out, and then use Expedition to summon this. And then from here, we could just make something like, what is it? Make number 62. And then from here, we can detach in the battle phase, and then use its effect to attach a Galaxy Eyes from the deck. And that will double its attack. And all other number monsters on our field. So this attack will be doubled. This card's attack will be doubled as well. So this will be going up to just absurd amounts of attack. It's getting 8 here and 8 here. So that's a total of 16, 32. So it's going up to 72. So it'd be at 14,400 attack. And we're definitely going to be able to punch for game with that. Who needs Oral Sword when you have Prime, Photon, and Afterglow Dragon? Same thing could be said when trying to go in with a card like Tachyon, because Tachyon, against some boards, they have no choice other than to activate effects while you start attacking. So not only will this card double it to 6,000, but it will boost it, like your opponent will just boost it up by activating their effects to 6,000, 7,000, etc., 8,000. So yeah, Afterglow Dragon, very, very clutch for not only extending, but of course helping to OTK. So yeah, I just wanted to sort of, obviously it varies from game to game how the later half or that, turn 3, etc. will play out. But I just kind of wanted to show, for example, how essentially you would just OTK from there if you were able to stop your opponent and follow up with the OTK using the Afterglow Dragon. That's sort of something how it would go. So let's go ahead and shuffle up one more time, or a couple more times here, and we'll see what we can draw into for our next test hand. All right, so deck has been shuffled real quick. Let's draw into our opening hand. Sanctuary, Knight, Soldier, and 2 copies of Vanisher. So the interesting thing I'm seeing about this, we don't have an orbital, but we can go easily get one using the Union Carrier. So we'll use Sanctuary here, summon out 2 tokens, and then after that we'll summon out Vanisher. Vanisher, of course, will grab Galaxy Eyes just like that. And then we're going to do something that just sometimes seems a little bit unfair. We're going to go ahead and link off these 2 tokens into Union Carrier, use its effect, and we'll be able to attach a light monster from our deck to this card. And we're going to be able to go ahead and get Orbital. Now we'll just go ahead and use Orbital's effect immediately. And since we already have Soldier, Galaxy Eyes in our hand, and Knight, I'm just going to add a copy of Afterglow Dragon for even more extension power. And now that we've made Union Carrier, we can't link it off. We can't use it as link material this turn, the turn that it is summoned. Now, normally that would hinder this deck's ceiling pre-Master Rule 5. But since we are playing under Master Rule 5, we don't have to worry about just having the 1 arrow to be able to make plays with. So we're going to discard that off of the Soldier, and we're going to search another copy of Soldier, because we have this extra light monster in hand that we can work with to make more plays. So we'll summon this by discarding this, and then we'll just overlay immediately into the Nova, and then of course Nova into Infinity, just like that. We can use the Absorb effect right away, and then from here we'll normal summon this and special summon this, and then use Afterglow, and then we'll overlay the Afterglow in the Knight into a copy of that Divine Dragon Knight Felgran. Use Felgran, we can just target the Union Carrier if we need to. And then we can summon out another copy of Galaxy Eyes from our deck since it was detached. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and overlay, of course, into another rank 8. We could either go into number 90 if we wanted to worry about more about, like, negating monster effects, or we could go into Hope Harbinger. It really doesn't matter. I like going into number 90 because it gets us that key search during the next turn. So we went with this card, Union Carry, of course, number 90, Felgran, and Infinity. So that's 3 interruptions, and we're getting to search a card like, Trance for a big comeback next turn. Because if we negate any monster effect with this next turn, that will get destroyed. That leaves the Photon monster in our grave. Despite what we even draw for turn, we just get to pay 2,000, and, you know, summon out this and go into another rank 8. We could even summon out Afterglow Dragon off of the trance, and then again, like we did in the previous turn, go into a number 62 and just push for massive damage with that, since we still, I believe, would have one more Galaxy Eyes left in deck, so we have the you know, the resources to use it. So that's going to be it for that test hand. Again, you can just sort of see how good Union Carrier and just the new Master Rules treat this deck. It's very, very fun and very, very promising in my opinion. Deck still has consistency issues, of course, but just, again, a lot funner to play under the new rule set. So let's go ahead and do another test hand here and see what we can pull off. All right, so let's go ahead and shuffle the deck here and cut it, and let's see what we draw into. Expedition, drawing way too many cards there. Expedition, Banisher, Brave, Banisher, and a copy of Trade-In. So again, this is where Brave is kind of coming clutch and allow us to even summon our Vanisher. So this will become level 4. We'll go ahead and search a copy of Galaxy Eyes that we're going to trade in immediately. I guess we don't have to trade it in. We could just make Blast Dragon and summon it that way. But I'm going to go ahead and trade it in regardless, because we can make Union Carrier with these two if we don't draw into anything good. Draw into Knight and a copy of Transmigration. So those are good cards, but not exactly what we're looking for. So let's go ahead and link these two off into Union Carrier. Union Carrier will target itself, and we'll go ahead and equip the Orbital from the deck. We'll send the Orbital off to go ahead and search a Galaxy. And I'm going to go ahead and search the Soldier. And we'll pitch the Vanisher off the Soldier and search a Galaxy monster. I'm going to go for the Afterglow Dragon here, and you can see, again, we opened a pretty insane hand, at least drew into some nice cards, and Union Carrier making this hand possible. So we'll go ahead and use the Expedition now, summon out the Soldier, the other one, and then we'll go ahead and make Infinity and Nova before we go any further. We'll normal summon Knight. Well, we want to normal... this is a mistake I made on stream, and I almost just made it again right here. So before we overlay into our Infinity, we want to normal summon the Knight first, while we still control a Galaxy or Photon monster. Summon this out, then go ahead and overlay into these two. And then while we control the Galaxy Eyes monster, summon out the Afterglow. Same thing here. Valgran detach the Afterglow. Activate the Afterglow effect to summon out another Galaxy Eyes from the deck or our hand, but we don't have any in our hand right now, so we'll go for the one in the deck. And we'll overlay into a copy. We'll go into Hope Harbinger this time. And then we'll use Infinity here to suck up the Union Carrier. And, well, here I go again. Let's not make this, actually. Let's make the number 90, so we can actually make our Transmigration live. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. It doesn't matter. We don't need the spell negation from the Hope Harbinger if we have the Transmigration. So, pretty solid field, but of course does get stomped on by a little card called Sphere Mode, but not too many people are playing that card currently, but again, they might going forward, but who knows. Again, still just a lot of fun to play this deck. Union Carrier and Afterglow are just, like, essentially, I don't want to say it's what the deck needed, but it gave the deck much easier access to search cards through Union Carrier, essentially turning any two monsters in this deck into Union Carrier. It's just absolutely insane. And since Union Carrier is a light machine, just like Photon Orbital is, it makes setting up boards even easier, because Photon Orbital is like one of the best searchers in the entire deck since it gets Photon or Galaxy monsters. So just absolutely incredible. Next to number 90. Number 90, of course, is the best searcher because it searches literally anything, but it's only during the opponent's turn. But of course, Orbital is about as good as we can get in the main deck. So let's go ahead and cut the deck here and draw one more hand. Let's see what we can draw into. We draw into an interesting hand. Trance, Afterglow, Sanctuary, Transmigration, and Galaxy Eyes. So pretty obvious what we're going to have to do here. We're going to Sanctuary 2 tokens, go right into the not Afterglow, but Union Carrier rather. And of course, Union Carrier will get ourselves the Orbital. So Sanctuary basically equals Orbital now with this card. And then we'll use that to go grab Soldier. So that's nice. Then we'll use this to discard this. We'll go ahead and search a copy of Galaxy Knight. Now, we could try to make live this Trance. But if we do that, we're not going to be able to, like, it's just, we're not going to be able to make Felgrand and get that extra interruption on our board. So I'm just going to go ahead and normal this, and then go ahead and special this out while we have that Galaxy Eyes monster. And then we will overlay these two. I like overlaying the Knight on top of with the Afterglow. That way you can get the double Galaxy Eyes underneath the number 90. So you can have this setup, in this case anyways, where we have the trance. You can have that trance set up live immediately for next turn. So we'll set that. And yeah, it's not as good as a board as we had last turn if we would open up Expedition instead of this, even though this is a 1 of. You know, of course, Expedition is 3 of. Would have been more likely to open it, but can't win them all, I guess. But still, nonetheless, a pretty solid field. And yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for this test hand video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Again, I really just wanted to make this about showing off how much better this deck gets in Master Rule 5, and how incredibly good Afterglow Dragon and Union Carrier are for this deck. Like, these two cards absolutely change the face of this deck, in my opinion. Absolutely. Just makes it much more consistent, much more powerful, raises the ceiling, literally everything you could ask for when it comes to getting support for a deck. So, I mean, that's going to do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Don't forget to check out Imperium Duelist and use my affiliate link to TCG Player down in the description below. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Winter Kill signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one.